Hi and welcome back. This is a little video on when you're first commencing treatment and you may see an increase in your AHI. So that's your apnea hypopnea index, and which is the score that you're given for your level of severity with your sleep apnea. So I'm going to you'll see me flicking to my notes on this one because it's a little bit of a longer video. So I apologize for that, but your brain. Okay, now this can be a little bit alarming, particularly for first-time users, but it's comforting to know that sometimes when you're first starting out, the AHI index can increase. So you may have been 12 times an hour on your diagnostic study, and now the AHI on your data or on your machine may actually be reading at 15. And a lot of people go, oh my gosh, you know what's going on here. So this isn't supposed to happen, it's supposed to go down. So there's several reasons for this, and I'm just going to go through them now. So if your nightly usage is actually broken or inconsistent, then it can take a little bit longer for the apnea to respond to the treatment. Now, it's an adjustment period and it's okay in the beginning. So once your usage becomes more consistent and you have longer hours on the machine, you will see the AHI reduce. Okay, so now even if you have consistent usage, you can actually see this in the short term when you first start, but it settles a lot quicker. Okay, so the apnea or the AHI consists of the apnea and hypopnea, and in the beginning your upper airways can actually dry out regardless of having humidification, and that can cause a little bit of upper airway resistance, so it can escalate what's called the hypopnea. Now, for this reason, the increase in the AHI on the machine can be a little bit misleading. So the second thing, in rarer cases, it may actually be pressure-induced central apnea, which also again settles quite quickly after a while. So contact your CPAP provider and ask them if they can actually look at the data and check the apnea level, the AHI. Now, if this is below 5, then hypopnea is the culprit and this will settle. So, for example, you will always see a rise in hypopnea in circumstances where you may have a head cold or, for instance, a little bit of nasal resistance. So that drying out is causing a little bit of nasal obstruction or blockage. So some things that you can do to help you are, again, consistent usage each night. Now, 4 solid hours of use is actually better than 7 and 8 hours of broken usage. So once you improve with the hours, then things will settle down, and that might be in a week, or it might actually be, in a couple of weeks or whatever. It's when you're using it consistently. Now, the disclaimer is you want to build up to using the device for the whole night. So I'm not giving you permission to only use it for 4 hours every night. That's fine in the beginning, but the goal here is to use it all night. But it is absolutely fine if you have to wean into that in the beginning. Just saying. Okay, then elevate yourself in bed to alleviate any dryness or congestion and try and keep on your side. So there are wedges that you can purchase, and they can be quite expensive. So if you want to just test it first to make sure that it's going to work, you can actually use pillows. Now, never put the pillows up here and just have your head resting and shoulders on the pillows. You want to actually start down here and build it up with the pillows to keep you elevated. So it's like a ramp, so it's like a wedge. Same principle, but it will just save you money if you can use pillows in the short term. And that you may only need that in the short term as well. So try the pillows first and see how you go. Otherwise, you can purchase wedges online. There's some increase the humidification. So if you're not sure how to do that, there is in this channel. I do have the actual big brands, and it will show you in those videos how to actually do that. Or if you're not sure, you can contact your CPAP provider. So increasing the humidifier keeps the airways moist and will help with that. There's some oils and some sprays from the pharmacy that you can get to coat the inner lining of the nose to protect the inner membrane. So that lining is very sensitive. It will also help to sort of prevent any nose bleeds. So it helps to stop drying them out, and people on oxygen generally use them. Now, this is not to be mistaken for nasal congestion sprays, which are the sprays that you take to help keep your head clear when you've actually got a head cold. So those are short-term use, and you can only use them for 2 or 3 nights, and they're great if you do have a head cold, a light head cold on CPAP, and you can actually use those decongestant sprays, but they're only good for very, very short term. So the actual sprays that I'm talking about are like a natural oil that you can spray. So in Australia, there's a product called nose oil, and it's NOZOIL. And people on CPAP, people on oxygen, as I said, use it. I used to recommend it to my CPAP users in the beginning, just until they conditioned and acclimatized to it. And you just spray it in each nostril each night, and it helps to coat the inner membrane and protect it a little bit more. Now, if it does come back that there are some centrals, then you can increase the start pressure on to give you a bit more air splint. So I spoke about this in a previous email. In a previous video. And what you can do is, so your start pressure might be 6, or your minimum pressure if you're on an automatic might be 6. And you can actually increase that up to 8 or 9 and air splint it a little bit easier or a little bit better for you, so that you're not getting so much of the centrals. By the same token, you can actually have high pressure that can induce centrals. So be guided by your CPAP provider, or contact your physician in this case, to find out the best pressure, and they may reduce it in the short term and then slowly build it up until you get up to your required level. So they can actually see the breakdown of the apnea, hypopnea and central on your data. So I'm sorry if this has been a little bit overwhelming, but you will get there. It just takes a little bit of time for your body to adjust and realign to what's normal for you. So it's similar to when you start a weight or a gym regime. You don't go to the gym and jump on a treadmill when you've never been there and do 9 Ks an hour for half an hour and feel fabulous when you get off. You feel amazing. No, you usually get on for 4 Ks an hour for usually 10 minutes and jump off puffing like a madman, and then say WTF. So it just takes time for you to condition to it, and the body needs to condition as well, and the sleep apnea treatment is no different. Now, if the AHI remains high when you're using it consistently, then definitely warranted to ask your CPAP provider to have a look at the data for you. Okay, there's other things that could be going on, like you need more pressure, or you need the humidification change, or there's a mask issue. So never hesitate to contact them to look at the data for you. Okay. So that's it. I hope that you're enjoying these videos and finding value in them. And if you are, don't forget to subscribe down below, and that will help me to keep you up to date with new release videos. And thank you for watching. Thank you.